ooh, I felt used. How are you, folks? My name is Father Columba. I hope you are well today. I want to talk to you today about the opposite of love. What would you say the opposite of love? Most people would go, anger, rage. Some might say fear, which is, there's something to that, sure, too. Hatred. The answer of St. John Paul II was use. What does that mean? Like to use. And that hits home for me. Like if I ever have a situation where I say, ooh, I felt used. In that context, to feel used is the opposite of to feel loved, right? St. John Paul II said in his book, Love and Responsibility. It's a little bit kind of philosophical, but really good. And he talks about this principle that a person is that thing which can never be used and can only be loved. Or you could flip it, positively and say the only way to relate to people is by loving, never by using. So now it's different for stuff. Okay, so like here's my lens cap, which goes right there. This is a thing. Now, things I can use, right? You use things. That's what we're supposed to do. Hammers. Or like a hammer that's not used, it's like probably crying in the shed. But people, we can never do that with. Now, we can misuse things, right? So you could take a phone and use it to nail in a hammer, and that's a misuse, and that will do damage. There's ways to properly use a phone, texting people, calling people, and all the rest of it. But if I had that attitude towards people, there's a problem. And all of us know this. And check your hearts. All of us know this. That there are ways that we have been used and we've maybe used other people. I think in some ways all sin, what we call sin, is forms of using people. And we can use God. We can treat, and what does that mean? We treat God as a thing, not as a person. I treat myself as a thing. I treat my powers, my capacities as things. I can abuse myself, right? That's why when I'm examining my conscience, I'll often look, okay, how have I sinned against myself, God, or others? What are the ways, and this is another way you could do your examination, what are the ways I've used people, including God, versus what are the ways I've loved people? I find this just so helpful. And I talk to a lot of people about their relationships, and they're like, oh, I'm not sure. Like, is this good? What are my motives towards this person? And sometimes I'll just say this. I'm like, well, I find it really helpful to ask myself, am I using this person or am I loving this person? And so often when I've said that, as far as I remember, every single time I've said that to people, the response is always the same. It's like, oh, because it's suddenly like the light goes on. You go, of course. And either they're able to say, no, I have been loving towards this person, or they say, oh, yeah, I've been using them. Which then it's all about me, right? If I'm using somebody, it's like, I want something, so I'm going to use you like an object to get that thing that I want. And it's never nice, and it doesn't build people up. It doesn't build ourselves up. It doesn't satisfy us. It always leaves us empty, because we are not only the ones who can only be related to as love, but also we are made to love. That's why we're created. And if we act in another way towards people, we won't feel satisfied, because we were made to love, not to use people. So there you go. It's a good rule of thumb. Be able to see, right, how do I go about my day? How do I go about life? How can I then make the shift from using to catching myself if I'm using, and shifting to love? Or how can I love these people in my life today? Even the people who are most annoying, what I want to at least do is to avoid using them and to start to say, right, is there ways that I could actually love them through praying for them, accepting them, standing up to them, challenging them, walking away from them if that's necessary. If that's the move of love, that I'm not seeking after my own good, my own ego, my own I'm going to win this situation. Anyway, there you go. Little thought for you and me. I certainly find this one helpful, and I hope you do too. God bless you. It's a bit of a... Whoa. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh.